That's why they're so incredibly diverse. Evolution has had its way without a major cataclysmic event. Now, 65 million years ago, it happened to be an asteroid that slammed into the planet and ultimately took the dinosaurs with it, but 65% of life on Earth as well. But so once those forests regrew after that, and we don't know exactly how long that took, really the world has not seen anything in terms of climatic disturbance or cataclysmic disturbance like that has interrupted the evolutionary flow in these forests. That's not true of North America's forests, as people in general.
Just take a trip to Vermont. I mean, I love Vermont, but when you go there and you see their forests, and I've never seen anything like it. I mean, the forests look like galleries because they were totally deforested, farmed. The farms went kaput,
right.
And then when they regrew it in the late 19th, early 20th century, they were, I give them credit for regrowing it, but they had no concept of doing it in a natural way. They actually planted the trees in rows.
Yeah, in some cases, yeah.
Yeah, in some cases. Well, I've been to forests where they did that, and I asked, when I was up there, I asked my friend, why are these trees in long rows? And he said to me, because they were deforested 150 years ago, and 100 years ago, they realized that was a disaster, ecological disaster, and they regrew it.
Right.
And I know also I was in West Virginia, where the Potomac River has its origin in West Virginia. They had deforested that 150 years ago, and it started to impact the Washington, D.C. water quality. And even the robber barons and the people who thought of nothing else but making a buck on everything they could get their hands on realized that they had to reforest West Virginia, or at least parts of it, or else they wouldn't have water for Washington, D.C.
Now, and even beyond that, all the forests basically in North America, even if you look at the really old forests in the Northwest, the Olympic Peninsula, you're talking about some of those forests actually have trees in them that are close in on 2,000 years old. But those forests are 6,000 to 8,000 years old at max, because the whole continent was covered in glaciers about 12,000 years ago.
Right?
So really. Right, and that's happened so many times over and over again. So really, closer to the North and South Pole, you've not had forests have a chance to continually evolve with the wildlife within them. But in the tropics you have, and so
that's fascinating.
So you're talking about a level of biodiversity in these forests that is probably 2 orders of magnitude greater than anything you'll find in North America.
Oh wow! So now this is a fascinating subject. We spent the whole half hour on that. You were going to have a rally today, but it didn't happen because of the rain.
We postponed.
Tell us about the rally. Where were you holding it? What was the purpose of it?
Washington Square Park. We're meeting at the fountain on now Thursday at 5:30 p.m. And basically we're going to have a funeral procession through Washington Square Park. Reverend Billy is going to be there, who's the Green Party candidate for mayor. And we're going to talk about Mayor Bloomberg's tropical hardwood reduction plan that came out of his Office of Long-Term Planning and Sustainability in response to our campaign, and why that plan is faulty and won't do anything to save tropical forests.
Let's go through some photos. We also have a slideshow. Let's show a few photos, and then maybe we can go to the slideshow. Here, I'm going to bring them up. I'm going to hold them for you and bring them up close to the screen so folks can really get a chance to see them.
Great.
Now, where is this? We all know where this is.
Yeah, that's an easy one. That's Coney Island's Boardwalk, and that's taken just last year, an area of the boardwalk that is ready to be renovated. They've just started the latest round of renovations. This wood that you see there is older ipe. It's probably about, my guess is it was put down around 1993, and here they are having to replace it again as soon as 2009. Now that's not a very long time for this ipe to have lasted, and yet it's all cracked up and it's patched. They have plywood patching down on it.
Not made for the ocean.
It's really not, and it's a shame because you're talking about needing to go back and log those forests again. Not the same forests, of course. As I said, all the wood is coming out of primary forests, so they're logging more forests every 15 years. This is the wood waiting to go up on the boardwalk now. This is the latest renovation. They started that just a couple of years ago, and they're continuing right along the concession area. This is Kumaru from Peru. Now, the interesting thing about this photo, you see the THL on the right, that's the importer, Timber Holdings Limited. The exporter, that symbol on the left, that little tree in the circle, a company called Bozovich SA, and they are actually have been accused of illegally logging in Peru, displacing indigenous people, invading indigenous lands illegally, etc. And this is indeed the kind of wood that we find New York City involved in, this kind of conflict timber, if you will. In fact, we identified
like diamonds.
Yeah, we identified wood coming out of Liberia for an order that was set to go down New York City's subways. African rainforest wood, yeah, and
Liberia, which was beset by the Civil War.
Yeah, well, yeah, and Charles Taylor basically using the funds from diamonds and then later from timber when the UN shut down the diamond trade out of Liberia.
So we're walking on blood.
Yeah,
walking on blood
exactly.
Timber.
Now this is the Kumaru that's gone down. Now this is a not as durable wood as Ipe. They call it the poor man's Ipe. New York City, though, has done an interesting thing in terms of the Parks Department. They have decided now to put concrete down on the understructure of the boardwalk. You see that to the left of the photo, to the left of the dumpster there. That's a white, concrete understructure. Right
and
they did that. They decided to do that so they could use recycled plastic boards on top of the concrete.
Is that a better idea?
It's certainly a better idea. However, in this case, they went ahead and probably there was some outcry from the community and the vendors maybe, and they decided to put Kumaru down directly on this concrete, which is a really bad idea. Wood is going to rot on that concrete in a very short period of time.
Why would the local merchants want the wood? Because of the tradition of it?
I think aesthetically we fight that fight in Wildwood, New Jersey, all over the country really, where people are just opposed to the use of recycled plastic lumber. But I have some pieces here, and I'll show you in a minute.
Yeah.
So this is the believe it or not.
Let's take a look right now. Let's
do
that.
Okay.
Let's look at what you.
Great.
Okay. Yeah. Let's look at this. You want to talk about this?
Yeah, just that one last photo. That believe it or not, this is in Hudson River Park. That's massive Ipe boardwalk, 3-inch thick Ipe, 8 foot long boards, 8 inches wide. It goes for 0.2 of a mile, and the Hudson River Park Conservancy just put that in last year and dubbed it the Nature Boardwalk, ironically.
And it's 1,000 feet long.
Yeah, and they probably wiped out a few hundred acres of rainforest to produce it.
3 inches thick, 1,000 feet long. Multiply that to get how many square inches?
Yeah, exactly. We did
cubic inches.
Yeah,
that is. That's incredible.
It's really a large amount of wood.
A lot of tree.
And you're just incredible. So here's the thing is.
Oh, wow.
Aesthetically, here's the Kumaru. Now, this is the Kumaru after it's been out for just a short period of time outside. You saw in the photo, it looked kind of orange when it was going down. And here it is, it's probably been out for a few weeks, and it just goes into this.
Now, what is Kumaru again? Tell me what this is.
It's a wood out of the Amazon, being used by this company. THL actually was the first to bring in Kumaru, as far as we know, as a substitute for Ipe because it was cheaper. It's cheaper than the Ipe.
Right. And it's also from primary?
It's also, yeah, absolutely.
So
all of this.
You're looking at a tree from a lineage of trees that are.
Yeah. Now these trees, whether it's Kumaru, Ipe, or any of the other trees, the city is using Eki from Africa, anywhere from 250 to 1,000-year-old trees themselves.
Just the trees themselves.
Just
that
the
tree
trees
could be
themselves.
anywhere from
could be
before
1,000-year-old
the American
tree.
Revolution.
Absolutely.
To the Crusades.
Absolutely. When they first started trying to age trees in the rainforest, the way we do that in North America is you drill into the tree and count the rings, right? And the rings are there because the tree has a dormant period in the winter, usually.
Right, sure. So when you cut a tree, you see the Museum of Natural History, it's that gigantic redwood.
Right, and you can count the lines, count those rings, right? And those rings, each one of those rings is a year. You can't do that in the rainforest because the trees don't, there's no cold, there's no winter, so the trees don't go dormant. So there are no rings. So someone came up with the idea not too long ago of carbon dating the trees because scientists up until that point thought, oh, the trees are no older than 150 years old or whatnot because they didn't see the rings. And if you spend some time,
organic material like wood.
Carbon dating, right.